live streaming on YouTube right now. We are. Oh, but how do I check to see that? Like,
Oh man, I
so
wish we were as
I'm on
cozy
YouTube
with
over
multiple
here.
screens.
I'm,
Oh.
where? Which one do I look at? I'm on YouTube over here, and I don't see anything saying that we're live.
It says we're live at the top of our Riverside screen, and it also says recording.
But it's the live is supposed to be on YouTube.
I don't know where my phone is. Otherwise,
We have, oh, but it says there's 0 people watching on YouTube. Which I mean, I didn't expect anybody to hop on. It was kind of cool if anybody happens to hop on.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Hopefully, we're not
Whatever,
trying to work
whatever.
through that.
All right. Well, episode 100.
Oh, live. We're live. Hey, join us on our live stream.
Okay, here we go.
We're crushing this live.
Yeah, crushing it.
Yeah. So this is episode 100. Welcome to the 100th episode of the Investing Right Now podcast. That's our little rebrand that we've been doing since the beginning, I guess.
I
don't know.
We weren't talking about rebranding.
No, we're talking about rebranding the name.
Oh, we're rebranding the name?
Oh, man.
No.
Where were you?
Oh, did you were literally sitting there the whole time.
She might have left the room.
Not
necessarily
did you decide
rebranding the
that
name.
as I left the room to grab Ozzy.
No, we've talked about this before. Not much is changing, but we from the get-go always referred to the podcast as like the Investing RN for Registered Nurse, also Right Now. And I think as we've progressed, we like the idea of the right now, kind of like the emphasis on getting out there and getting things going, especially now given the market and everybody kind of being out here talking about like trying to time the market and everything. But without fail, every time we talk to people and interview anyone, the common theme is that they wish they started sooner. So obviously we're still nurses, but
there's a lot of people that were sitting on the sidelines the last 2 years while we were still getting deals, and it's so far so good. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, we closed our biggest deal this year, and obviously the creative financing helped with that because we weren't subject to the current interest rate. Well, actually we were though. I mean, most of it is at the 7% or whatever, and
70% of it is at current market rates.
Yeah. So didn't stop us, didn't slow us down. And I think the biggest thing that people can do is just get in the game right now.
Right now.
All right, I'm convinced.
Yep.
Sold. So 3 people like
Sold.
the name. That's it. Ozzy doesn't have a choice, so he's in. But yeah, and then if you're actually watching on YouTube, you can see the top of his semi-bald head. But our little 3.5-month-old is joining us for this episode because he decided not to fall asleep at his bedtime. So turns out we got another kid in our family that has FOMO.
Yep. You're a FOMO family.
But yeah, so what do you got for us tonight, Josh?
Well, it's been 100 episodes since we talked about our portfolio, like as a general, like all of it together. So we're going to kind of go over everything we've done, some of the specific deals that we've done, and creative finance. We're just going to do a brief overview, talk about what we're doing, why we're still doing it.
I like it.
Yep.
So start us off. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell me, what have we done?
Well, mobile home parks, still doing them. We have 8 now currently. Did we go ever into detail with the last 3, all of them together?
I think we were always too scared because we hadn't quite closed the last one, and we learned that things were getting messed up as the more we talked about them on the podcast, the deals kept getting messed up. But we did end up closing that, and that whole portfolio was $3.6 million. It was, I was just doing the math the other day. I believe it's 98 mobile home lots. And then of the 98, 95 of them are full. All but 2 or 3 of them are tenant owned. So that's great. And then we got a duplex in the deal. And then we also got 14 storage units in the deal. So total doors or units, it's like roughly 112 or 14, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so we bought it for 3.6 million. It on day one it appraised for 3.9 something. So automatic equity, they're
Oh,
in the
really?
deal.
These are all
Oh,
details.
really?
Details I don't know.
Not because she doesn't.
Not
because
because I
she's
haven't-
doesn't have access to the details.
Or because I probably haven't heard them. I'm sure I've heard them before and just
You may have heard them already.
haven't
Yes.
actually let it. I haven't
She's-
had my eyes closed so that I could really sink in.
She's too busy thinking about the new 104 people she has to deal with.
That's exactly right. I was just like, oh my gosh, how like I never even thought about the number. I was just like, that
Yeah.
is going to be
Yeah.
a lot to handle.
But my favorite part is all of that, and we bought it with $75,000 down, and it was not our own money, so $0.
Yep. Well, actually, technically, another cool thing was we did have to put money down. We had to put down, what did it end up being? About $40,000 in earnest money. And then we also had to put down about 10 grand for inspection or appraisals.
Appraisals. Yeah.
Actually, some of the inspection money, I don't think we recouped. But other than that, all of that was paid back to us from the $75,000.
Oh, but we also got the seller credit for the water meters that we were put in that we may or may not put in. No, we're definitely going to put them in.
We're putting those.
We're
in.
putting them
We
in.
know
We
that.
just haven't
We know
gotten around
that.
to it yet.
But we actually got $45,000 actually to our pocket for this deal.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not too bad.
to our escrow pocket.
No, we got it. It came to our account.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It did
Yeah,
come to our
that's
account.
that's
yeah.
actually in our account. That's a
Oh,
secret
that's cool.
account that I don't tell Jennifer and Colin about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about
Well,
that.
and that's something else that's interesting as we've grown, because I think early on we heard about all these investors buying different properties and having different LLCs for each of the individual properties, or at least breaking up their portfolios into specific LLCs. And out of a necessity, because we were using a partner on this deal, we had to create a new LLC. Are we 95%?
ADI is 95% of this one, yes.
Yeah, so we have 95% equity, and then our investor has 5% equity. But we had to create a new LLC. So that's been something that's been interesting to figure out, because it's like, I think initially we just thought, we'll just put it all under one LLC because it's just going to be so much easier. But as we've gone, I don't know that. I mean, I guess we always thought we were going to grow our portfolio to a good size, but didn't really see it like being a necessity until all of a sudden our portfolio grew to a certain size. And then we were realizing we do need to separate these things, and then start doing these deals with investors. So we had to start a new LLC for this one, which means another bank account, which goes back to a lot of, it's a lot of moving parts when you get to this
There's
size.
so many. Yeah.
It's been-
so many moving parts.
We've the entire time we thought we're like, oh, we're so close to like paying ourselves like, I don't know, a lot of money is what we always expected. And profit first was something, I don't know if we talked about that recently, is that you have like 5 accounts, you're moving money around, but the focus is that you actually pay yourself first before you're doing all this other stuff. So we did that and still didn't pay ourselves. Just the way we're doing stuff, it doesn't make sense to pay ourselves when we can keep buying new properties.
I think a lot of businesses do that for the first several years, just trying to ramp up as quickly as they can. I
Oh,
think
for
that's
sure.
a normal strategy.
Well, and it depends how you're doing it. I mean, I definitely think, and that's something her and I have talked about recently. And actually, my buddy Isaac, who does the mobile IV business up here, we were just talking about that the other day. It's as much as having a steady job is somewhat of a handicap and a crutch in terms of growing your business and growing it quickly. It allows you to reinvest all that money back into the business. So I don't know which one makes you grow faster. I think if nothing else, you're just able to kind of continue living a decent life as you're growing, rather than having to be super lean in your lifestyle, which suits us all better, to
Yeah.
be quite honest. I don't think any of us are disciplined enough to do what it takes to just live super lean and cut out all the expenses.
Right.
So I think the way we're doing it suits us well. And then because we still have jobs that are paying for our lifestyles, we can invest that money back in the business. Would it be nice to take money? Absolutely. And we were just talking about profit first again the other day.
Yeah. I was thinking about
It's
that.
coming back. All right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming
I
back.
don't
It's
know.
coming back, but it's coming back. Like actually,
Actually.
it's actually coming for the first time.
It's actually
because
coming back.
It never
Sounds good.
It never went away because it never arrived.
We just
Yeah.
had 5 different accounts of $0 in them for the
I know,
longest
we-
time.
And we would just move it from one account
We were
to
just
the other.
moving money back and forth. And
Just
it never to our
Creating
bank
so many
accounts.
taxable events. At some point, it's
I
only
know.
tax money.
But it is interesting because, you know, again, Jen and I are always talking business. We're always talking business, like our own businesses, talking about the businesses we're running together with Josh. And, you know, just yesterday or today, we're talking about, you know, everything with All Day Investments and everything that we've all kind of been forced to do. And one thing for Jen that she's been forced to do is she's been forced to really learn, you know, like the back end side of the business, the accounting, you know, the bookkeeping, and just kind of like the ins and outs of how the actual business runs, which none of us have a background or any amount of skill in. So it's been a very like steep learning curve for us, and none of us were qualified to do any of this to begin with, but it's cool now to like kind of be where we are, and we're still messing stuff up regularly. I mean,
Yeah.
that portfolio we just closed on, we now have this LLC, and now we have to be doing like pretty good bookkeeping to make sure that all the money that's supposed to be going to that business is going to that business, because that's technically separate from All Day Investments, even though we're 95% partners or owners.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like now we really have to treat it as a separate entity and a separate business, and we can't just commingle all those funds. Those need to be distributed straight there. And it's tricky because it's another bank account, it's another business, it's another tax filing. It's
Mhm.
expensive, it's tricky. I don't like it, but it's the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't remember who said this, but someone said like you can't. However long it takes you to finish nursing school, some people more than others, but let's just call it 5 years. Well, let's call it 4 years because that's how
4
much
years.
should take.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone said he's like you spend like 4 years of full-time study to become a nurse. You can't expect to like do 2 years of part-time work and build a thriving business. Like it's going to take time. And I know we expected it to grow way faster, but now we're 5 years in, and it hasn't even been full-time work. It's been our second jobs, quote unquote, like, and now we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, and on the profit
Felt
first,
like full time.
yeah. Well, for a while,
But- I'm sure, yeah.
yeah, and I
For
think,
you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that is true. The property
true.
management is full time.
yeah.
No
But
matter
I
if
mean-
you
but-
approach it as part time.
But for a while, that's what you were doing full-time also. So I'm sure it kind of felt like you were doing
Oh
property
yeah. Well, no,
management
there
full-time, because you were.
there was
Yes.
some overlap. It
Yes.
felt like it just felt
Okay.
like we were constantly working on stuff, but it was because we were managing the building and the portfolio at the same time. So it just felt like we were
Right.
always in somebody's complaint.
Right.
Right.
But for the profit first thing, what we were talking about recently was, you know, so one of the things that I think we've done recently that we should have been doing from the beginning was we really started setting money aside for reserves. And as with this new acquisition, that's increased our gross revenue, like our gross rents. I think it's almost doubled our gross rents.
Yeah, it's almost doubled it.
What,
Yeah.
What are our gross rents now? Are you allowed to say that publicly?
I don't know.
I'd rather not.
All right. You guys are so secretive. That actually bothers me about you guys, about everything.
What do you mean?
Like you wouldn't even tell me your kids' names before they were birthed.
We didn't
We
know
didn't
him.
tell them. We didn't know them ourselves, and also we didn't
I
tell
don't know.
anybody. We
Well,
Why do
you
you
did.
think it took? Why do you
you
think it
could've-
took us a month to name him? I just signed his
We-
birth certificate
Yeah,
yesterday.
like yesterday. So
Well,
this
I
dude-
guess you're like, I had a girl name picked out, and I was like, hey, well, what's the girl name? You're like, oh, we're not gonna tell you guys that. I don't know. You guys just you keep stuff. I don't know. I feel like you guys could be a little more.
I think
open
I
about
think there.
stuff.
Well, okay, this is completely off topic, but with the names, the only reason we didn't say anything about names is because we didn't want to tell somebody something and have them react and have that influence our decision.
that is true because we were between names, and
Wouldn't
I
have been
just
that
was
hard
like,
to say
I-
that to me.
I
like,
didn't
6
want
months ago.
like any. Oh, I didn't know it was an issue.
Yeah, we didn't realize you were so sensitive.
You should have known that.
Well, we should have
We
known. You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
we should
No,
have
but-
praised you and then told you
It's
we
just
weren't
because
gonna
you're so
tell you.
amazing and we value you so much that
that we
it would
cannot
just
tell
crush
you.
us if you
There
didn't
it
like
is.
our name.
That-
But also, we
That
we
was-
don't
that's a
like
nice
the
way to say that.
traditional. We don't like traditional names, so we knew whatever we were choosing
It's
was gonna.
Is it because I made fun of your first child's name for a long time?
Everybody made fun of our first child's name.
All right.
Now, can you imagine her being called anything else?
No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
but it's
We
been
were
like 4 years.
We were never afraid of you stealing the name because it's not found in like
Yeah,
a
no question.
1920s novel. So
It's not in the Bible anywhere, so you're not at risk.
yeah. Yeah, but anyways, no, I think the only reason I would be concerned about the gross rents is just I don't know, I guess IRS, but that probably doesn't even matter anyway.
They're just always
They're
listening
not
to
likely
the
listening
episode.
to this.
That's crazy.
All the auditors that listen to us.
All
But
right,
even
well,
there,
anyway.
like we're not hiding anything. But anyways, I think it's
Maybe because I'm still becoming an accountant / bookkeeper, so I'm
So we're not
unconfident.
sure on them.
So we're not
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I mean,
well, that's what I
no,
was
we
gonna say.
are.
I don't know.
regardless, most of it's debt service. The vast majority of it is debt service, and then we're making a little bit off the top.
Yes.
Well, more so now. I mean, we're definitely making our margins are a lot. We have a much larger debt service with this new acquisition because of the way we financed it. But we also went in and raised rents right away. So our gross rents
To less
I
than
don't-
where they should be still. We'll clarify that.
know if
Ozzy's
you-
on board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ozzy's clarifying.
no, but I think I didn't say it because I don't know exactly where they are.
Okay.
But-
I mean, ballpark. They're like high 5 figures, right? Not quite 6 figures a month, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right,
And
yeah.
correct.
and
yeah.
okay, that's what I was thinking. But high 5 figures. Again, most of that's debt service.
Yeah, a lot of that's debt service. But anyway, so what we were looking at recently is the property management we're charging. We are charging property management, or we're paying property management, I think about 10%, and then we're doing about 10% to reserves right now. But across our portfolio, because of the way our portfolio is set up, being that we don't own a lot of the homes, most of what we have to deal with is infrastructure. For example, we just had a big plumbing issue at one of the parks. That was about 10 grand. Last year we replaced a well pump. That was about 8 or 9 grand. So, but even there, these expenses are probably, 10, 20 grand at a time. And then the chances of them popping off at every park, obviously we want to be ready for that. But we figured if we could just get to, $50,000 to $70,000 in reserves
Total for the entire portfolio.
total for the portfolio. Right. Obviously, like we can kind of allocate it as needed. That's our goal. So we're doing a more aggressive amount to reserves right now, trying to catch up for what we should have had in the past. And then that'll help kind of even things out. But I was like, let's just say our gross rents are 80,000. If we're doing 10% now, once we cut it back to 5%, there's an extra $4,000 that was just going to reserves the whole time anyways. So if nothing else, like that money could be, our profit first or whatever, we want to say 5% profit first.
Right. I feel like we had a specific episode about profit first where we talked about it. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't remember the percentages for everything. It's like,
I just remember from the book, he was saying to just start real low with like, 2, 3 to 5%, something like that. Start really low. That way you never have to reduce your salary because that's pretty damaging to your, confidence in running a business. So make sure you start low and then slowly increase that as your business can handle it and you're, growing.
Because we've been used to zero for so long.
Zero.
But
It's comfortable. Zero's comfortable.
It would be hard to go back to zero after getting
Yeah.
something. So
Yeah.
But also, part of what we were saying today was that, I shouldn't. We've done this too many times where we just feel like we can pay ourselves
Yeah.
or we can afford
Colin
something.
always says that. I'm going through everything. I'm like, well, we need this for reserves, this, and we're still moving everything around and making sure.
Jen also is
I need things.
a doomsday person. Like everything is the worst that it could be, and this worst case scenario is going to happen. And
Not true. But also, I just feel like we're years into this, but we're all still learning stuff that I feel like is probably basic business, and so that always scares me because like we're still all learning new stuff that like even just talking about the savings account, it's like as we're saying that out loud, it's like I feel like that's probably no brainer. We should have done that on year one.
Well, we knew we should have done that from the get-go.
Yeah.
We all knew that, but we just
But
kind of chose not to do it because
It was either
like
that or more
reserves.
properties.
Yeah, we looked at it as reserves or more properties, and so we said,
Which is
pedal to the
definitely the
metal.
wrong thing to do.
it is and it isn't. I mean,
we were hashtag blessed. Nothing
well,
like
the
crazy
one
happened.
the one thing I will say for ourselves is that I think we're not the best. We all, I think, maybe not all of us, but Josh and I think do well when our back's against the wall.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't do well until our back's against the wall. That kind of forces our hand, and I think that's where we've thrived. And because 100% we should have been doing this from the beginning, setting aside for reserves. That is very basic. That's like
That is extremely
That's
basic.
101.
step
Business
one. Yeah,
101.
like, and if I was coaching anyone or telling anybody how to run their thing, that's what I would tell them to do. You need to set aside reserves, and it would be very much like a do as I say, not as I do, because we never
Yeah.
did it. But I don't regret how we did things just because of where it's gotten us to now, and we wouldn't be here now had we taken a more conservative approach.
Well, I'm sure there's just as many of us that it didn't work out so well. So I think maybe us just timing and I don't know, being creative somehow kept us in the game, whereas a lot of people might not have made it to where we are now. Doing it the same way.
Creativity, and then the network, having a network that we could access when we did decide we wanted to start bringing in investor money.
Oh,
we were
sorry,
able to do
someone's
that.
on our live right now. This is blowing me away.
I just saw a chat thing pop up.
On the
Yes,
line.
Jordan. He wants us to tell him good night. Good night, Jordan.
Good
As we
night.
speak about investors, thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan was our first ever investor, and yes, thank you.
If you're
for
listening to
everything
this,
you've
Jordan, we
done.
know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. I know.
Trust us.
Wow, Jordan. All right, cool. Sorry.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
continue.
Good
Yeah,
night.
Jordan was our first investor. He gave us a lot of money, and we are gonna repay him one day. No, we talk about it all the time. Yeah,
And we
Doing
actually
great.
have
doing great.
we're actually in the process of how we're going to repay him right now. So
And I was just recently I was like, Jordan, you want your money back? He's like, no, please don't give it back. But he said it
we
in a
said
different way.
no. Yeah. They need all these people watching just threw us off.
We're not used to an audience.
What yeah. Wow, I just
Are you now?
flustered.
No,
but
I
what
realize
were
we
we
were
talking
so famous with one live viewer.
I knew this was going to be a mistake. I knew we
I was
couldn't
like-
handle the
We can't
distraction.
do live
Yeah.
anymore. More questions, Jordan, so it's not so
Yeah.
laggy.
But anyways, yeah, I think the way we did it worked for us, and like I said, having access to the network we have, for example, allowed us to kind of be a little more aggressive and grow the portfolio. And now, had we done it more conservatively, we definitely would not be where we're at today. The other thing that's helped us is the creative finance side of things, which allowed us to buy properties we might not have been able to buy otherwise. So couple different things that I think play into how we've been able to do well without that. Because as it stands right now, the only money we have currently invested in the business of our own personal money is actual investment money that we're treating as investments, and like getting
Right. Same
dividends
percentages
on and
as
all
everybody else that has invested with us. We are just actual third-party investors in our business also.
Yeah, which is great.
And I think you should note too. You guys basically have, since we were buying things creatively, our debt service was different than somebody else. Okay, you guys.
That just popped up huge.
Everybody's gonna see that, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
Cool. Thanks, dude.
Another distraction. Yeah, thanks, Jordan.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
but what I was, I think, trying to get at is that we've built up to X amount, a couple hundred doors, and we're still talking about like thin margins and, trying to see how we're like how we build this into a business where we actually start paying ourselves instead of like just always dumping everything back into the business. And to somebody else who has not started investing, I think that can sound kind of crazy. Like, oh, you have 200 doors and you're like not making anything yet.
I would have
I
thought
think
we were
just talk.
crazy.
Yeah, but beforehand, like I'm super glad I didn't know that this would be our trajectory, because I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna do something else for 5 years then.
But again, I do think we changed our strategy probably like a year and a half, 2 years ago, as we kind of saw how things were going, and we focused more on long-term growth and like passive income, in 10 years as opposed to passive income now.
Yeah.
There's absolutely different strategies we could be implementing right now that would change the amount of money we were taking, and even just hiring Brandon. There's a certain amount of money, like
Right.
decent amount of money out the door hiring him, which is, I think made us that whole thing of growing
It's
wider
let
so
us
we can grow higher.
survive. Yeah.
Let's help to survive, but it's also built this base where we can now actually grow even more than we could have before. So there's definitely things we've done. Like, yeah, we could have kind of stuck with what we had, stabilized what we had, and just kind of left it alone. But I think we seized some opportunities that were there for us, and I think it will greatly benefit us in another 5 years. And we're all pretty young still, where it's like, that's okay. If we need to do nursing for another 3
I
5
don't know,
years,
man. At some point, you're not gonna be able to say that anymore.
I'm always going to be young. It's age is how you feel, and I feel amazing. So
I feel older than you probably do.
oh, 100%.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
you both do.
Yeah.
I for sure do.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys are struggle bus.
Yeah. This
because we
2025, I've realized that health needs to be a priority. It has not been. So 2026, health is going to be a priority.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait another 6 months.
Health and
I think it
fitness.
doesn't help that we both need like 12 hours of sleep to function like a normal person. That
Oh,
does
man.
not help.
I know. Eight is the absolute minimum for me to feel normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I always tell Colin, I was like, man, I feel like I was built so weak.
Mhm.
Like, because he runs on half that and he's like flying around with.
well, I mean,
Twice the amount of energy.
I don't have the most healthy habits. Like, I
Yeah.
probably drink roughly 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, but that's just what I have to do because, I have to get up, I have to work out, I have to do things, and so that's how I don't know. That's how I make it work. It's not the healthiest thing. I would rather not be drinking that much. I'd rather be sleeping more and being a little healthier in that respect. But for now, that's what we got to do. So that's what we're doing.
As he goes into full dad mode over here.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, you see all these successful people, they're not raising a family the same way that we're doing it. They're not maintaining full-time jobs in the hospital. We've
I mean,
we've
some
been
of
doing
them
a little
are.
bit. Some of them.
Yeah.
Not,
I don't know. I
not-
think
I don't know.
it's just hard to compare yourself to other people because
It's hard not to
For-
at the same time, though.
it is.
You're right. 'Cause
But I
you're-
think
I'm always looking for inspiration, and that's pretty much exactly what that is. You're looking out at other people and seeing how quickly they grew, which is why I think we all thought we were going to be in a little bit of a different place at this point because of who we were looking towards, and we have like you said, we have completely different life situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even just having older kids that are, in school or something like that, like having kids in school would be amazing. I mean, I don't want my kids in school yet because I like this little nugget just attached to my chest looking up at me. But just in terms of the amount of time you have, like to have 6 to 8 hours a day where your kid's in school and you can just work and get stuff done. I mean, that's a lot of time. Or even just older kids that are just more self-sufficient.
Mhm.
Yeah, because both of us have young kids that need a huge amount of energy and time during the
Yeah.
day.
We've been doing this for 5 years. And how old's Evelyn?
5. 6.
So,
Hold
so
on.
she's so however old she
Five.
is.
She's 5.
So
Final
yeah,
answer.
so she was, I guess she had just been born right before we started this. Since then, we have a 4-year-old now. Now we have a 3-month-old. You guys have a 1-year-old. So, I mean, that's a lot of life changes in that amount of time, and that's a lot of time commitment.
And combined with the 3 of us, job situations have changed like 5 or 6 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
We should talk about how you're actually having to work now and how detrimental
I am
that's been.
I am not happy. I'm actually working a lot. Yeah, when we started this podcast, I had a really nice job, plenty of time to just podcast. Now I'm actually working, and it's getting old.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's definitely changes that have come throughout these last 5 years, and that's 5 years of the business. That's before we even started the podcast. Then with the podcast in there, that's been going for, I guess we're coming up on 2 years now.
Almost November, yeah.
Well, November is when we first launched, but we started recording probably in July or August. So we're actually probably already 2 years since we started, because we had like 20 episodes recorded when we launched.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So
yeah. Yeah,
it's-
because I thought nobody would say yes to an interview, and turns out a lot of people wanted to be on our podcast.
Since then, we've stopped asking.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Now it's just us.
But we'll
All right,
bring some
Jordan.
of that back.
Jordan says, Caller 1 says, what are you doing investments wise, if any, for your kids now for the future, besides handing off your portfolio someday?
That's good.
I mean, I feel like maybe I'm viewing this a little bit differently, but I'm just building it as big as I can now, and then I'll figure that out later. I'm just building them something that they can benefit from. The actual handing off, or like whatever inheritance, I can figure that out later.
Well,
But
I think
they got to
He
have
might-
something to hand off, though.
he's asking like the 529s and some of those
Yeah. The savings
some of those kind of like
accounts.
savings account and like
Those are
investments
great.
accounts.
Those are great if you're paying taxes. They're kind of
Well, yeah.
they're not as advantageous if you're not paying any taxes, and you can just use your current money to build bigger businesses.
Yeah, I mean, so currently we're not, other than just building this portfolio as big as we can right now. That's our main focus as far as preparing for our kids' future.
But now that he mentioned that, now I'm thinking, oh, we should be doing something.
Well, we should. I mean,
I'm always seeing these ways how you can hire your kids into the business. Colleen is probably the only one of
That's-
your kids that you could actually
that's
do something.
like
with.
you
That's
said, though,
very
those-
controversial. That's also another way to do that, is just to save on taxes.
yeah, they're like more like tax
Oh,
aversion strategies. But yeah, if you
Right.
aren't paying taxes,
oh,
which,
I
not that
see.
we're not paying taxes, but
because
that,
of the cost
but
segregation.
with the cost
We
seg
will later,
studies,
right.
we,
Well, now that 100% bonus depreciation is
it's
back now,
yeah.
I appreciate that. I salute you for doing that again.
There was
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody he's actually a accountant friend of ours, and he, I forget what it was, but he said something about SALT. I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's something about
Oh yeah, it's the like writing off your
state-
state income tax.
yeah, it was something about state income taxes, and
Here, I'll look that up.
and I think as they brought back bonus depreciation, that they, whatever, I don't know how that works, but SALT didn't make it more salty. They
Want me to take them?
State and local income tax. State and local tax. Yeah, where you just it eliminates at a certain income level, but I think I think we still fall into that. Where
Yeah.
you write off your state and local tax from your federal income tax statement.
Right, but I don't know that that's something we have access to currently. Maybe not. Maybe just not. I don't know. I don't know
Oh.
anything about that.
Oh, that's true. You guys out in California have a lot more to write off over there for your
Yeah.
state income tax.
So, I mean, that's something I wasn't even really aware of. So that was interesting for him to bring that. He's the same one who told me when the whole tariff thing came up. Everybody's talking about the tariff, so this will be so great. But then his point was that the cost of goods would go up just because as other countries or whoever's tariffs, or is there we're applying these tariffs to them, they're obviously going to pass through that expense back to the consumer. So
Right.
there's always
But
something.
I also think that people, and I'm not here just to defend tariffs, but I know people assume
I
that
love tariffs.
like if you're tariffing something 100%, that doesn't mean that the cost of goods is doubling, because the actual cost of bringing it into the country is not what you're being charged. Their margins are a lot bigger than that also.
Right. Yeah. It's all very complicated. I don't understand it, which is why we hire people to understand that stuff. And if you have any recommendations, let us know.
Still looking.
Still looking for the one.
Yeah.
But so we got through our most recent acquisition, but as it stands right now, we've shuffled things around. We started off with single family, got into duplexes, fourplexes, small multifamily. It's been we're coming up. We might have just hit our 3-year mark from our first mobile home park purchase. I think it was actually July 7th, 2022.
We have
You-
2
wow.
listeners right now. I'm sorry. We just doubled our viewing.
Josh,
Who's
Josh
the
could
second person?
I knew this was a
Josh
mistake.
could never go live
for
because he just can't. Please say who you are so Josh can focus again.
I need to know. Who is this? Mystery caller.
It's your mom.
It might be.
It should be.
She would have
But
said something by
anyways.
now.
So unless she doesn't know how to use the chat.
That's true.
But yeah, we transitioned. So 3 years ago, we bought our first mobile home park. Now we own 8 mobile home parks. We still own a fourplex. We still have a duplex that we're seller financing. So that's essentially, we don't even think about that one. Who is it?
Jordan. No, it's Jordan again. Thanks for the tips and lessons. If y'all are waking up at 7, Josh, you need to go to bed. And then Jennifer, something about something. You got 2 hours and 7 minutes. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, she's got time. She's not waking up
Plenty
at
of time.
7 either.
Yeah. All right. Night, Jordan.
Yeah. So he was both our callers.
I guess so.
He logged in from his phone and his computer. But yeah, so we went single family, small multifamily. We've basically sold off most of our smaller, single family and small multifamily.
Everything is for sale.
Everything that is not a mobile home park is either for sale or sold.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we are going all mobile home parks. And as far as upcoming acquisitions, I think we're pausing a little bit. We're really focusing on infill and stabilizing the current portfolio we have. Actually, as it stands right now, today there was a showing at our first mobile home park for one of the new mobile homes we brought in. These are the first 2 homes we've brought in. They're brand new homes. They've got the skirting, they've got the stairs, and now they're on the market. We're using a real estate agent to sell them. And they're on the market and being shown, and we're getting snarky comments on Facebook from people who think they're
Really?
over. Oh yeah,
No
Oh, yeah.
way.
it's so great.
Because they're overpriced?
They're
Or-
more than
It is
they
what it
think they
is.
should be. I don't know.
But the crazy thing is we're not selling them for much. It's not even like we're trying to make some crazy profit off them. We're just basically trying to recoup the money we invested in them.
Yeah.
And our whole goal is to have.
That was the original plan, is that let's
Yeah.
break even, get them sold quickly, and then just have
Yeah.
2 new lots full.
And the realtors comped it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But it's just funny
We're
because
actually cheaper than some of the homes around that are older than the ones we have.
yeah.
Nice.
And no matter what, like I was telling Josh, when I listed a home for I think $4,000, people were trolling Facebook Marketplace for that, just
Can't
saying,
avoid
"Oh,
it.
I can't believe that you would sell this dump for $4,000." It's like, yeah, it's a $4,000 home. What do you expect? And we did sell it. So jokes on them.
Yeah. It's the people that have no intentions of buying anything are the ones that are trolling the most.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, so that's pretty big for us, because I think, infill is something that once we really get that dialed in and figured out, that will open up a lot of possibilities in terms of, just stabilizing our portfolio. I mean, if we just stabilize the current portfolio we have and filled everything, it would be like a new acquisition.
Yeah.
And
30,
so,
right? Or 20, not quite 30.
yeah, I don't think it's 20, or 30, but yeah, probably like 15, 20 or so.
15, 20, and we're working on 5. In the next month, we should have 5 done, 5 of those done.
Yeah. Well, and in the
exciting.
one park, in Nebraska, we had a bunch of homes just sitting, and we had a guy in the park who owns a few of them already. That when we bought the park, that deal was already in place. This one guy owns, I think, 3 homes and rents them out, and he just pays us lot rent, and then he can charge whatever he wants. But he had reached out to us, wanting to do that with some of the other existing homes in place, and we'd kind of gone back and forth. We really wanted to get out there. Brandon and I were planning to go out there and see it, but given everything else we have going on, including the birth of the new little boy here, we just didn't have a chance to go out. And so in the meantime, I just decided, hey, let's reach out to this guy and see if he's still interested. So as of right now, he's fixing up 3 homes. We're basically just giving him the homes, but he's got to invest all the money to fix them up, and then he's going to rent them out however much he wants. But he'll be paying us lot rent on those homes, and it'll be double what we're charging the rest of the park. So it's kind of a win-win. I mean, could we have sold those things and made some money off them? Like, probably. But with this situation, we're able to control more of what's going on. Like we told him, he has to send us photos, and we have to approve of all the repairs before he can rent them out. Obviously, we have to vet all his potential tenants.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, these things were just sitting there. So
I think after all this time, we've realized that because of how we're doing this and all of us working full time, or at least having babies, we don't have the opportunity to go and be doing this stuff personally.
yeah.
Or we had been waiting for one of us to go and kind of oversee these things, and that just kind of never happened. So it was definitely a win-win. So we can actually fill these parks, because that was something that hasn't been addressed. We are very focused on buying new parks instead of stabilizing really what we had and filling what we had. They're stable, but not filling what we had.
Right. Yeah. Improving them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the nice thing is, as much as we talk trash about how we're not making money, we are. I mean, the business is making money. We're reinvesting.
It's not 500,000 a month like the plan.
No, not
is.
yet. Not yet.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it takes apparently years and years for that to happen.
Or just a lot more work. but
And a lot more work and years and years.
Yeah. But we are the business is making money, and I think once we dial in the systems a little better, and like the stuff with reserves, instead of just dipping into the general account every time we have an issue come up, we have our reserves now. And instead of reinvesting all our own business's money back into new acquisitions or lot or infill and that kind of stuff, we can use investor money for that. And so now the business is making money. And so what would, with all these new things, let's say we add 15 homes at like $300 a month, that's all cash flow at that point, because we're already, doing better than breaking even. So that's how I think we'll start seeing, more actual returns and money in our own pocket. And that'll be nice, because, we're all in a position, as I mentioned before, we're all working. Well, Josh and I are working. Jen's working, but
wow.
Jen's working, but not. I mean, in nursing. Nursing.
Everybody knew what he meant. In the hospital, he's talking about.
In the hospital, yeah. But it would be nice, whatever we can get. If that means for Josh not having to pick up extra shifts far away from home, where you don't get to be home every night, and for me, just not having to pick up extra shifts in the ER every week or whatever it is. It'll be nice. So excited for that.
Well, it feels a little exposing talking about our business.
Yeah, but that's.
Are you trying to insinuate that you're an open book and you're just talking about whatever now?
No. What? You guys are like sharing all of our
That's the point.
Miss Cummings.
That's why we
years
started
into
this,
it.
is because we know so many people lie in front of the camera. We want people to know that
That's
we're
true.
genuine.
That's true.
Well, and I think like we said earlier, when you're comparing yourself to people and like if we were just came out and said we own 250 doors and blah 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 and we're making this much money and this and that, then you're just getting like half of the picture.
Yeah.
And
Gross rents is this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's a lot, but it's all going somewhere, not our pockets.
not yet, but anyways, I think it's nice to know that, because I think that helps put things in perspective for people where they have a realistic expectation going into this that we didn't necessarily have.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And that's the whole
That's
point.
true. You
Like,
only see everybody's inspirational post about how good life is, and you don't really
make those
know.
in 10 years.
yeah. In 10 years, we will completely forget where we started,
Yeah.
and we'll just act like we knew everything from the beginning, and we were always just on
Just
the right
dialed.
path.
Just making
Yeah.
millions the entire time.
Yeah. Well, you have been. You've been because in like I think in the course. Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah,
I remember talking about that in one of the first episodes.
Yeah.
I'm not really good at counting assets.
It's so good. You need a better fact checker in your house.
Yeah, you do need a fact checker.
Oh no, Nicole's just she's a hype woman. Hype woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we are? What can I buy?
Well, I'm taking you to a fancy Thai restaurant tonight.
Oh, we're $1 million. We're millionaires. Where's that?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, and I think lately there's been a lot of Josh has been a little restless and been wanting to sell everything.
No, I
what is this?
I don't like making, so we make decisions and then we're like a month later, nothing's been done about it. So I don't know. We made decisions to sell things and then I'm like a few weeks later, I'm like, okay, we're like, are they sold yet?
Yeah, but so here's a little bit of advice. Ow, oof, I got a cut on my leg. Whoops. That's why it itched. But so, airing out more of our laundry. So we had a house listed or a fourplex listed, and we discussed a bottom dollar amount that we would take. And then an offer came in less than that.
And I wanted to take it.
Josh wanted to take it and then got
like,
upset with us that we
what?
didn't take it, or that we didn't want to take it. And in hindsight, maybe we should have just taken it because it's kind of an annoying property anyways. But then there's no point in having a discussion about what our bottom dollar is if we're just going to take the first offer that's less than our bottom dollar.
And we haven't received a single offer since then. So
We have
looking
not.
back, it's
That's-
like, okay,
No, we have not. So that's why I said like maybe we should have just taken it. And in the
Yeah.
meantime, we've dealt with a lot of nonsense drama from
But that pattern seems to repeat itself. We'll like discuss things and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and then something totally
That's
not what
usually
we
me.
just agreed on. Oh, but this, yeah. Thank you for admitting it.
But-
well, and-
and
but
we're
the
like,
velocity
why
of
did
money-
We just have that, why did we
Well,
have that conversation?
And the other thing too, like recently, that's been the recurring theme. I wasn't even referring to that. I was more referring to, so lately with us being busier, I'm working a lot of hours in the hospital. Josh is working a lot of the hours in the hospital, which is why we've had a hard time getting together to record recently. And the podcast has fallen off a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but we're back.
Yeah. This week at least.
Yeah. we're back
No,
with a new schedule of once a month.
We'll do better.
We'll
Maybe,
do better,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
We will try. We'll try our best. But we're not talking as much either. And every time I talk to you, you're just like, well, what if we sell this? And what if we sell this? And I'm like, no, we just finally stabilized these properties.
Yeah,
I did mention selling a couple parks.
I was like
Selling a couple, like
We
all
have
of them
been
at one time.
struggling through
okay,
the last
so
years of
I gotta-
finally getting them stable.
I got a cold text and he's like, hey, I want to buy this. Like, whatever. I get those every once in a while. And like, I started playing with them because I just wanted to see, like, yeah, usually it's like, I'll give you a good price, like 15 cap rate.
And it's like
but
C translation.
this guy, no, but this guy, he's like, he seemed legit after like texting back and forth a little bit. And then I asked what he would give us for our entire portfolio. And he's like 6 to 7 cap rate, which is like significantly more than what we paid. And so I just threw that to the group, just like, hey, what do you think?
This is not, again, this is not even the conversation I was referring to, because I don't even remember you telling me this.
Oh,
That
what?
somebody actually offered
Yeah,
a
that's
6 to 7 cap rate on our portfolio.
Yeah, that's it's the same
No.
conversation.
No, it's not, because you were talking about selling one park individually, and then because we were having an issue with at one of our parks we own a piece of the shoreline.
Oh, that.
And we
yeah.
were having issues with the shoreline, and Josh is like, let's just sell the beach. I'm like, no, the beach is why the park is worth what it's worth. He's like, well, then let's sell the park. I'm like,
Sell the
"No."
park, hold the beach, and then sell the beach after the park is sold.
Yeah,
Genius.
because everybody wants a beach that is overlooked by a mobile home park.
They're never gonna know.
So
that's like an acre over there. We could sell it for $100,000 probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
But so that's what I was referring to. I didn't even know that somebody was offering us a 6 cap on our entire portfolio.
6 to 7 cap, which in reality probably means 8, which is still better than what we paid for all of them.
And after due diligence, 9, and we're breaking even. But it is. I do think that this is like something that comes up, because we are not that we're like anything big yet, but I think we're now getting to the point where now people are going to be reaching out to us about parks we own, as we're still reaching out to others.
Well,
also, I feel like we've been through I don't know, I hope, knock on wood, we've been through the hardest part.
I think we.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because,
I think
going from nothing to even our first park was a lot, and then getting another one was a lot, and now we just bought 3 at once, and
it hasn't been these last 3 we just bought have not been smooth. A lot of it has to do with the owner we bought it from not having any kind of like, actually it was 3 parks owned by 2 different owners. One had one, so none of them had any kind of proper they were both local. They both did everything, handshake agreements, pen and paper. So it was a really hard transition in terms of getting everybody onboarded. And we're still in the process with the final park of getting a hold of people, because turns out when you send people a letter that says, hey, you owe us rent, give us a call.
They're like,
sometimes they're like, maybe I won't call you.
I've never received anything. Yeah. So there are a handful of people that were like, okay, we're going to have to chase down creatively.
Yeah. Little do they know, Jen finally has lawyers that she can sue people with.
Man, I'm so ready to send some lawyers. I
mean, we're doing like a roll up, and the bigger we get, I know this is like going back to a couple sentences ago that we were talking about. I know it's kind of a lot of people do that, and I'm pretty sure this is what Grant Cardone has done. Some of the bigger names, they buy individual properties that are valued at a certain level, but once you package them together, they're valued by a lot higher tier. So we're kind of getting to that point now, and it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say, if somebody came in and like legitimately offered us, a 6 cap on our entire portfolio, it's like this constant conversation of, in our mind, Jen and I, because we've handled a lot of the property management, there's been a lot of, blood, sweat, tears, whatever, just time and grinding and just a lot of nonsense that we've dealt with over the last few years. So for us, it's hard to think about, hey, we've done all this work to build this portfolio that generates passive income, and now we're just going to turn around and sell it. But at the same time, if we could sell it and make however much money, that amount of money could either go into our pockets, and then a portion of that money could go to buying a 250 pad park that was fully stabilized. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. I mean, it's interesting. Property Gains, Jeff from Instagram that we met at WealthCon, he recently put something up on his Instagram talking about how, he got an offer on one of his parks that was almost too good to refuse, and what he could do with it. Now he's trying to figure out what the best thing to do is. And again, I don't think it was something he was thinking about selling. I think somebody just came in and offered him, but it's tough when you get those offers. But I think you just have to look at it. Okay, what am I going to do with this? And how will that affect me in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? So I don't know. Right now, I just want to have everything dialed in, and I want passive income.
Yeah. I was
'Cause-
tricked. This has
I've
not been
been
passive.
tricked.
I've been tricked. This is not passive. It's
Yeah.
becoming passive, but
but I
it
will
is.
say
Yeah.
it is a good thing that Jen was tricked, because I think Jen
Mhm.
has been very instrumental in our growth and the development of an actual business and systems. And had she known what the last 5 years would have looked like, she would have never gotten involved in the first place.
No chance.
So
Yeah.
thankfully she was tricked.
Thankfully,
At the
I did
same
not
time-
do my due
At the
diligence.
same time, we tricked her. Somehow she tricked us.
I
And
did.
it was a win-win.
Yes.
Yeah.
She took 33% of the business, and we tricked her by making her think it was going to be passive.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And for those of you
That is
listening who
true.
think like, oh, well, that's good news for Colin, because now it's not. That is her 33%.
Yeah.
Trust me, if I come looking for it, I might be missing some of my 33%.
Yeah, you would.
She has 33%, but really she has 66%.
I have 60. Yeah. That's right.
She knows she's not going anywhere.
Mm.
So no, but but 100
What?
episodes in. No, I was just gonna
What
say.
was that?
I was gonna say, all in all, if you're not on YouTube, you miss the body language, and the body language is great. But all in all, would you do it again? Okay, let's say, would you do it again if you could do it?
Yes.
Like, knowing what you know now, you would. I mean, what would you change? I would say.
I would just change my expectations. I would want to do everything the same, but for probably a year and a half, I was trying to get out of anesthesia really quickly, and that was just dumb. That was just not wise to think.
I'm just gonna go ahead and fact check
Wow.
that. You were never trying to get out of anesthesia.
I was trying to cut back quickly. I guess
Okay.
I'll say that. I was trying to cut back quickly.
Because you love what you do. So if you
But
love
instead,
what you do,
I've ramped it up.
But that's not because of the business.
No, that's just because of we like to spend money.
Don't blame the
Yeah.
business on you having to work more.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
It was myself.
Personal problems.
Personal
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah.
Jen?
Looking back, am I allowed to say that I wish that I'd have taken everything that I've learned and had to learn to grow this business into buying businesses. I
Mm.
wish I would have gone that route, because that's ultimate what we needed, something that was already generating income and like not building a business from scratch.
Yeah.
So I wish I would have put all of that energy into learning about acquiring businesses.
Okay, so cut that last part. No, but that's fair. I mean, and she's done like, some of the more.
Okay, so I'm gonna not fact check that, but I'm gonna push back a little bit, because this business is generating a lot of income, or a decent amount of income. Like
Yeah.
other businesses are likely just as labor intensive, even though they're already stabilized. It's just different.
Yes, I just think that, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the grass is always greener on the other side, but I have
Whoa.
had in mind, it's something I've been interested in a long time, and probably just because I love Cody Sanchez, so I just think she's the coolest.
Let me just do a sidebar on Cody Sanchez. Cody Sanchez is a young woman married with no children.
No joke. Who does
worked
business like 24/7.
Who
So,
worked in private
not at all the
equity for
same.
10 years,
Right.
probably 100-hour weeks
Yes.
for
right.
10
So
years.
But that's not
I
relevant.
did have to
That's not
realize that
relevant.
I actually, as much as I
Relevant.
admire her, don't want her life, because we're well past that.
No, but
But I
think-
it seems like from everything that I see online, again, not sure if it's all true. But it
probably
seems
is.
like when you acquire business, you're acquiring already like a somewhat running machine, and instead of building it up from scratch, which I have felt is extremely hard and frustrating. Maybe it's equally frustrating to like correct the problems that are already happening from
Well,
somebody selling.
I think the one thing I would say is I can see Jen's point of view, because something for us in our personal life has been just generating income for ourselves. And now that I'm back in nursing, it's different. but for a while there, we were not doing nursing. We were, because of the whole COVID thing, we were out of nursing for a while. We were doing property management. Things were pretty, pretty lean for a while. And that wasn't necessarily fun. So we were building into this business thinking that it was. So I think a lot of it goes back to expectations, but we were building into this business thinking that it was going to be generating income for us that we could live off of, that would replace the nursing salary. So we would never have to go back to nursing. And very much learned that we were going about it the wrong way for what our goals were, but also that it was just a lot of work and the money wasn't coming in. So yeah, I think ideally you're you're buying this business that's cash flowing X amount of dollars, which is now your salary in theory. So it's just a lot more stable and on the income side of things from the get-go.
Yeah.
But the caveat there, I think, is that I don't think it's as easy as everybody makes it
No,
out
I
to
don't
be.
think it's
So-
as easy. I'm just saying, like, as much time as I've had to put into the business and learning things, I just wish that I would have spent that amount of energy learning about business and how to, I mean, I don't know, just run a business better, I guess,
It's-
instead of starting from the beginning. Because
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's the same. Maybe I'm saying the same thing and just,
But I think
also-
hitting it different.
The ceiling that we have now is going to be a lot higher than I think a lot of these businesses that potentially are gonna be for
Yes.
sale that you would
Yes.
be looking into.
For sure.
well,
That is for sure. I just think that we started backwards.
I don't think we
Kinda.
necessarily started backwards. I just think that there's people that have a lot more experience than us that, like this Cody Sanchez, like you were
Yeah.
saying, it's like she makes it out to be this really simple thing. Oh, you just do this. And I think it can be, like, it definitely can be. You hear about people doing it and, that's totally fine. And I think it does work, but I think in general, it's a little more difficult. And I think part of the reason now, looking back, that you can say that is because of all the experience you have, and you're just now knowing what you could go run a business. But at the time, had you started at that,
True.
it might have been hard to
That's
jump
true.
into
I might have been incredibly overwhelmed, and
yeah, you probably would have been
I'm like, there's no
incredibly
way.
overwhelmed, and you wouldn't have had the tools to run a business that made the kind of profit that you would have been after at the time. You probably could have run a small business at the time and
Mhm.
figured it out as you go, but then you're running an active business with employees, with overhead and all that kind of
Making
stuff.
less than as a nurse, and I'm sure that would have been frustrating.
Maybe not. Maybe you're making
Yeah.
more, but the whole idea is that this is an active business with, that's the thing for us. The risk was relatively low the way we did it because we were only investing small amounts at a time, and then, if anything were to happen, we only at any given point, I think the most we ever would have lost was $50,000 each, which is a good amount of money, but wouldn't have ruined either one of
we
us
wouldn't have been
financially.
bankrupt or anything.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to say because I definitely got caught up in the buying business thing, and I'm still interested in it, but I don't think it's as easy as everybody says it is, because
It's true.
you see these people that run these businesses for their whole lives. We even had I remember at one of our business get-togethers when we were doing the coaching, the guy who bought that fireplace business or whatever, and
Oh, right.
and I mean, he sounded
Oh,
like he was
yeah.
struggling.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is true.
Yeah.
Uh,
And there
obvi-
was that guy
yeah.
that bought a bunch of Battery Plus franchises also.
That sounded like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
buying HVAC businesses, and it was a lot of work. I mean, he was doing well, but it was a lot of work. The other guy with the fireplace thing, I don't think he was doing as well.
Right. Well, the
Um,
fireplace guy, that was his first business. The other guy, he had been doing this for a long time, and was currently struggling in that situation.
Yeah.
Also, I think, nobody told us we had to buy as many parks as we did or as many units as we did. The one thing about real estate is that you can just buy a house or a duplex, and you can learn it very slowly. I think if you buy a business, you're just like, you're all in, and
Yeah.
it's kind of
that's true.
sink or swim. So
Yeah.
There's
I
that.
think ultimately what we were all after was passive income, and buying a business, I don't think gives you that. Not if you want to run it successfully. I think something that's always
That's-
been hard for. I was gonna say something that's always been hard for me is like the idea of buying some sort of service business that you know nothing about and coming in as the new boss, trying to tell all these people what to do who have been doing this forever. And
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, well, why should we listen to you? You know nothing about this. Because I'm your boss and I bought the I don't know. So it's like that
Because
was
I'm now
always
your daddy.
that was always hard for me to wrap my mind around. But Jen probably wouldn't have had a problem.
I
with
was
that.
gonna say I'm fine with that. I was gonna be
Yeah.
like, you could have bought the business, but you didn't. I'm the one who came in here and bought it.
Yeah.
So
But as a like laborer, I've done that type of work, and I know whenever people would try and tell me stuff who didn't know what they're talking about, I just kind of like didn't have a lot of respect for them. But anyways, we should probably wrap things up.
Yeah.
This was the 100th episode of the Investing Right Now podcast.
Oh, we got
we can
some.
still say investing RN. It is
Yeah,
still the
RN.
investing RN.
It just means
podcast.
right now. Just know that when we say
Right.
it, it means right now.
Yeah,
And I can
so-
also just say Investing Right Now every time also.
Okay.
But I think going forward, one of the things we've talked about is the community. I think with our current schedules as crazy as they are, I think we've kind of put that on the back burner a bit just because we don't think we would be able to provide value the way we'd want to if we're going to do something like this given our current situations. In the future,
So instead, subscribe on YouTube and you'll see a live pop up every once in a while and you can ask us questions there.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. I would like to do the lives more. I think that's if people actually had questions, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
But
that was cool.
yeah.
All right.
All right, we'll see you next week or
See
at
you when
some
we
point.
see ya.
See you. See you.